First of all, I thought it was a very competitive basketball game. Having played them there, and then they come back, like a true round robin. They play a team twice. I thought our guys were really focused, and I give them credit for the way they started the game, the way they started the second half. But they did some really good things. They're a difficult team to play against with their activity, the way they guard, with their experience on the floor. And so I give my guys a lot of credit for, continuing to compete and finding ways to be successful on the court. And I thought it was a great team effort. I thought our guys did a really good job. And I know we know DJ scored 36 on senior night, which is a special night, a night that none of us will ever forget. But I thought a lot of guys as teammates made a lot of plays throughout the game to help us. And that's what you need to win in this conference. You need guys stepping up and making plays, and you need your experienced guys like DJ leading the way, like him and Keyshawn.
Just on that note, what can you say about DJ having that sort of night in his final home game here? Just kind of a dream performance.
No, absolutely. I thought it was, one of those nights. Like I said, it was a magical night. I thought the way he carried himself, from yesterday's practice, the last practice before senior night, to shoot around today. I thought he had a lot of mixed emotions, and a lot of things going through his head. But I'm really proud of how he stepped up and he led his team today. He was terrific.
Coach, talk about your emotions seeing his performance, setting a career high in his final home game here at UCF.
You know what? Definitely. I was emotional because I'd seen what he's gone through the whole 4 years he's been here. His commitment to our program, his commitment to UCF. Nowadays, a young man stayed the entire time, and just really proud that he ended on such a really good note. A win on senior night that's, like I said, will be remembered for a long time. I think he and Jermaine Taylor maybe have that record on senior night with 36 points. That's a special evening, and to 36 and to win, that's something, like I said, you remember for the rest of your life.
Coach, oftentimes this season you've said that Darius is an extension of yourself on the floor, that he knows exactly what you want. What are you going to miss the most about having him on this team? I know the season isn't over yet, but as it's coming to an end, what will you miss the most about Darius?
I'll just miss his competitiveness, his will. I mean, he's a real fiery, feisty player. I mean, but I love that about him. I think I said that before because you need that. I mean, he's going to challenge his teammates. He's going to have high expectations for his teammates and for himself. And he's the ultimate competitor. As you see, he gives you pretty much everything he has on the court when he plays. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and so you can see who he is all the time. And there's nothing fake about that young man. What you see is what you get. And that's the thing I've really enjoyed, watching him, through these 4 years.
Coach, you guys went to the half down 5. What was the message coming in the second half that led to that offensive explosion?
We just talked about the things we had to clean up. We had to defend better. We didn't think we were defending at the level we needed to in the first half. We gave them, we turned the ball over too many times. They were able to get out, and they're very, very good, scoring off your turnovers. So if you need live ball turnovers, you're going to pay. We learned that from the first game, and we tried to avoid it this game, and they still did it in the first half. I think they had 16 points off of turnovers in the first half. And, they have a 5-point lead, but 16 came off of that. So we were trying to cut that down because we knew that would cut down on some of the opportunities to score. And so that's kind of was our mindset in the second half, and wanted to continue to attack the glass. We thought if we could do that, it would put some pressure on them, and maybe they couldn't get out and run as much.
Piggybacking off that, Coach, how do you respond to, how do you make up from losing the turnover battle like that? Like, how do you overcome that in order to get a win, pull out a win, even though losing the points on turnover?
I think we overcame it by what we did rebounding. I think we had 15 offensive rebounds, which was good for us. That led to 15 second chance points. So you combine that with, they scored 25 off turnovers, so they got a plus 10 in that area. But I thought that kind of helped combat what they were doing. The fact that we were able to, get second chance opportunities, putbacks, and/or new possessions.
Coach, you talked about guys needing to step up. Niels almost has a double-double tonight, 9 points, 8 rebounds, leads you in plus minus. What did you see out of him tonight?
I thought he was terrific. He's getting more and more comfortable. And, Niels was a good basketball player. I think he showed it again tonight. He made a lot of really good plays for us. He's a versatile guard. He's like a combo guard. He can play the 1, he can play some 2. He got good size, so he can make plays, like you said, by rebounding the basketball. And I was just happy to see him out there just competing and making plays to help his team.
Coach, how's it going, man? So, obviously, Darius, having a phenomenal night, man. How do you as as a team, as a leader for the younger guys coming in for next year moving forward?
I think he's been really good. I think he's given them great advice, about our culture, and understanding what it takes to be successful, and just how fast your career goes by. He spoke to the team, today after we finished playing, and one of the last things he said was just how fast it goes by. He can remember coming in and moving into the dorm to now his career is over here. That was his last home game. So, I think those guys who heard him, and they're going to take that to heart and understand how they have to take advantage of each day, because that's how important it is and that's how fast it goes by. You can't waste days. Your college experience flies by, and I think he gave him a piece of good advice when he said that.
As you mentioned, he's a four-year player here. He's been over 100 games for this program. In the landscape of college sports, do you feel like we're going to see really any of that at some point, or what's it going to take to have a guy be a real program leader the way he's been?
Well, I think you're still going to see it some. It's going to be rare. If a father's coaching his son, it'd be awful hard for him to leave. but also it'll be a few guys that are just unique, uncommon players that will do that. But it's going to be really rare. And so you have to cherish those moments, when that happens. And he's one of those players, and that's why I think those guys should be celebrated for the commitments they've made at one university. It's not as if last year when he averaged over 15, 16 points in the Big 12, he didn't have options to go other places in the age of the portal. He could have done that easily. Just the nature of where our game is. But for him, he was loyal. This is the way he started, of course. His dad and I go all the way back to elementary school, and and so he, made the right choice. He stayed with us.
Hi, Coach. You guys thrived via the three ball tonight. In the first half, you weren't really shooting great, but the second half, you guys shot 6 for 12, 50%. Talk us through, what it's like having good shooters like DJ on your team.
Well, it's important in this day and age of basketball, where the three ball is so prevalent. You need guys that can spread the floor and knock down shots. Offense is hard when everyone's collapsing and don't have to worry about you being able to knock down threes. So you want to be able to spread the floor. We have a number of guys that are capable of shooting the basketball, and that helps us generate offense, because for our guys like DJ who can get to the paint, guys like Keyshawn can get to the paint, you need guys that can space it so that they have room to work, and we have some guys that are capable of doing that.
Sharon, you guys have one more regular season game left this weekend, and then you guys have a short turnaround heading into the Big 12 tournament. Do you feel like you guys are playing a lot better basketball than you were maybe a month ago?
No, absolutely. I think we're playing better for sure. I thought the TCU game was tough, but you have a game where you go out there, they're very, very good there. They very rarely lose. I think they've lost 3 games all year, in TCU. And we didn't have our best foot forward. Keyshawn he struggled the most in that game of all the games he's had this season. He goes 3 for 17, 7 turnovers. And that happens. We're college players, even pros. You have nights where it's just not your night. And so it's tough to win on the road anyway. And it's really tough to win on the road as one of your best players and your leading scorer is just having a tough night. So, I'm glad we were able to kind of flush it, and that, let that just dwell, day after day. We're able to move on to the next play, which is, Oklahoma State. I think you saw our guys, how we moved on, and that's important, because sometimes it just doesn't fall your way. But I thought our guys bounced back well, and we have been playing. I think our last 3 out of 4 games we've won. And I think we played better during that stretch. Now we have to continue that.
Coach, with it being senior night, you have, of course, the senior in Jalen Sellers, who's been out for a while with injury. What's his status for right now, and considering his length of time as a medical red shirt an option at this point, or what can you say?
Still day to day with Jalen. He hadn't played, so I'm sure a medical red I'm sure a medical red shirt can be, in play for him when that time comes. But right now he's still, day to day.
Coach, speaking about injury updates, we saw Mikey Williams on crutches before the game. What's his status, and did he get injured in practice?
Yes, he got injured in practice, and he's still, he's going to be out for some games. I'm not sure when he'll return, but he'll end up being fine. I don't know a timetable of when he would be back.
What about Jordan Ivy-Curry? I know he's been dealing with something. He didn't dress out tonight. Is he in the same predicament?
He's exactly in the same predicament. He's been battling. To his credit, he's been battling probably for the last 3 or 4 weeks. But right now he's at a point where he couldn't continue, and so he's going to be out. I'm not sure of his timetable as well, other than to say, day to day, depends on, how it feels. But, we miss those guys. We need everyone. And, but, I'm glad we've had guys, step up like Tyler, like Niels. These guys have stepped up, Dior off the bench at the guard spot that have helped us, continue to be competitive.
Johnny, when you look at Darius, what do you think his legacy will be here at UCF when it's all said and done?
I think his legacy will be more than the wins and losses. I know that. I think he's won more than he's lost here for sure. But, I think he's taken us to at least one or two NIT tournaments. So he's taken us to postseason, albeit not where, we want to be, of course, an NCAA perennial team. But he's led us to winning seasons. He's the starting point guard that led us into the Big 12, so I think that's something that you'll remember. And then I think he'll always be remembered in the community for how he's represented UCF. He'll be remembered in our community and on campus for who he's been as a young man. And that's going to be the most important thing for his life at the end of the day, because this thing ends for all of us really quick. But, it's leaving your legacy in other ways. And I think he's done that, with the people, the friendships he's been able to develop, with the people around him in the community that really appreciated, him making sacrifices and commitments to be at different functions, spending time with people. So when I see him, I think I see a guy who's leaving his legacy in a number of ways.
Coach, you guys haven't won a road game since January 14th. You're 0-6 in that stretch. Now you face a tough West Virginia team. What's it going to take to put together a winning performance in Morgantown?
Well, we're going to have to, play well. We have to hopefully get off to a good start. First of all, I think we got to get off to a good start, which means we can settle into the game and then play our style. That's what happens. And sometimes on the road, you end up going on the road, and if you get down early or, you turn it over and give them easy baskets, they're feeding off that. They get a lot of momentum. We need to make sure we take care of the basketball, get off to a sound start. Usually taking care of the basketball and rebounding, you give yourself a chance. And so we need to make sure we take care of the basketball, defend and rebound.
Coach, on a lighter note, Darius said when he woke up this morning, he knew he was going to have a great game. Did you guys talk about maybe him putting up more shots? Did you greenlight him for anything, or did he just take command?
No, I didn't. The main thing I want Darius to always be, and I think he's at his best when he's aggressive and he's attacking. And so I'm always encouraging him to be aggressive and attack, and then play off of whatever happens with that, because he'll make a good decision with the ball, majority of the time. So that's the main thing I try to always impart with him. Just be aggressive, attack, play your game. Don't get caught up in playing. He's not a pure point guard. He's just facilitating. That's not who he is. So you don't have to be. Be the best version of yourself. And he has good instincts when he does, play that way. And so that's all I encourage him to do.
Did you see a performance like this coming from him tonight?
I couldn't say I saw a performance like this coming from him, no. But I was hopeful that, I know what he's capable of. It doesn't surprise me he was able to do this, because I've seen him now for 4 years. And so it doesn't surprise me. I just, you just don't know when it's going to happen.
Time for a few more.
Coach, we saw the end where Darius subbed you out. Just what was going through your mind when he came up to kind of dap you up there as he was coming off of the court one last time here?
Just a special moment, between the coach and the player, and someone I've watched, grow up his entire life. Just to have that moment on senior night, to walk off that floor knowing, hey, we won on our night. It just was a great feeling. It's kind of emotional for me, because I just was really proud of, the effort that he put forth and for us to get that win.
Coach, kind of following up on that, you talked about your relationship with Kelvin, and you've seen Darius grow up. What's kind of been this process like with you as Darius's college career comes to an end?
Well, he's in a tough situation, no different than my own son was. Because obviously we're harder on those guys, in every sense of the word. We're harder on them with what we're doing, the expectations we have for them, because everyone's watching him. It's your son or it's your godson. Everyone is, so you're really hard on them. So it's probably unfair to them to some extent, being in those situations. But but both of them been able to handle it. Like Darius has handled it very, very well, and he's led, really well considering the pressures that he's under because of his father and his godfather on the bench coaching him.
Two more.
How is your son Aubrey, by the way? You mentioned Aubrey. Is he doing good? Or?
Aubrey's doing well. Aubrey's playing, yeah. Aubrey was playing. He's in Germany right now. So he's playing, yeah, he's enjoying his experience. I just spoke to him a couple of days ago. He was in good spirits. They're doing well. So I'm happy for him.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Coach.